Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Thursday stream. Not the greatest time to be streaming, I realise, because there are games on right now. Salah is playing for Liverpool as we speak. Mane, by the way, not even in the squad. He gets a full rest. And Salah, who played the full 90 minutes, I believe, he played the full 90 minutes. And Mane came off not that late, not that early into the game, but still not good for Salah potentially. But let's see what happens. This is the problem with making early transfers. I do have two of my transfers locked in already, so I've taken a hit this week, which I'll come on to in a minute. But how are we all doing? You're doing a wild card. Yeah, I mean, if Salah got injured, maybe I'd have to do a wild card as well. Or at least I'd have to go up to an 8-point hit, which would be hugely frustrating, but it is what it is. Buckshot George, how's it going? Calvert-Lewin, captain. Pedent's not in the Wolves training picture gallery again. He has been called up by Portugal, though, I think. I think I saw that. I did think about bringing him in, but there's no way to know if he's going to play this week, so I didn't bother in the end. Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin. I still think Calvert-Lewin's better value for money. And plus, Richarlison may have an injury for this week. We'll have to see. Werner's the big question that everyone's still talking about. I'll tell you now, he's gone. He's gone from my team. I'll talk about that in a minute. Salah should be fine. Nice little confidence boost. Yeah, it'd be nice if he could score. Like, I'm not expecting to then be rested in the next game. Like, it's still early on in the season, right? I think, didn't Salah miss out the last midweek game as well? Werner to bang this weekend. He could. Absolutely. I don't think the thing with Werner is no one's getting rid of him expecting him to never score in the Premier League ever again. I mean, he never has, I guess, but you know what I mean. What do I think about captaining Calvert-Lewin? I just think it's a little bit of a step too far. I don't think I trust him yet, to be honest. I saw some people thinking that you shouldn't bet against the Brighton defence, but I don't think the Brighton defence is that good. They've played well. Yes, I've set up OBS properly. My internet sucks. Look, we can go through this every time. My internet sucks. It's never going to get better until I get a new internet, and that ain't going to happen until Open Air stop being douchebags. To rub it in earlier, I saw a neighbour getting fibre installed. So I lit the van, parked outside my house, then it went back to where the house was getting installed. Then it came back and drove around again. It was like trying to torture me. So yeah, you know what I mean. Let's get rid of this douchebag. Hang on a sec. Oh my god. Sterling triple cap. I just don't know about using triple captains yet. It's so early on in the season. Have I installed FIFA? I don't have it yet. No, I'm hoping someone can give it to me for free. That's what I'm hoping for. But we'll see. Kane just scored after 2 minutes. Oh, he's scoring again. He's been looking good. Are Open Air doing it direct? Well, it's up to them who gets installed, right? It's KN that are actually doing the install on the house, but it's Open Air that do it for the estate, right? FPL Boat missing and stubbornness getting the better of me. Still going without Calvert-Lewin. I mean, not getting Calvert-Lewin now might be an okay option because it's Brighton than Liverpool, but his price is going to go up, especially if he scores against Brighton. That's the only thing that would worry me if I didn't have him. Ruben Dias essential? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Get your shovel. Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to. FIFA or Pro Evo? Definitely FIFA all the way. Always have been. Even when Pro Evo was considered better. I used to always say that when I worked at EA, but I think everyone thought you were biased then. But honestly, I've always played FIFA. I've never liked Pro Evo. Is Trent my next captain? No, let me pull my team up on screen now. Hang on. Here we go. Right, so hit that subscribe button as the little video thing says right there. So I have done 2 transfers. I have taken out Werner and I have taken out Saint-Maximin and I have put in Jimenez and Foden. I don't know. Part of me was thinking about just keeping and holding. I could have played Luke Shaw against Spurs. I could have benched Saint-Maximin, but Saint-Maximin might go down again in price. There's a chance that Werner will go down again before the weekend. He'd have to have quite a few more transfers out, but it could happen. Obviously, Foden and Man City got pretty good fixtures, so it's nice to double up on them. Plus, Foden didn't play midweek, and he's not playing for England either. So you'd hope that he would start in Game Week 4 and 5. And beyond that, who knows what I'll do with this team. But yeah, the thing with Werner is, like, if I didn't want to do the Foden transfer, I probably would have just kept Werner and just played him this week. But because I kind of fancy getting like that, what I was going to do was Shaw to Reece James. It just felt a bit passive, whereas I think Foden and Jimenez are a little bit more attacking. And I feel like, I mean, look at that team, right? On paper, I'm not saying it's going to get 100 points, but on paper, that is a team that could get like 70, 80 plus points this week. Now, next week, it's not going to look so good because McCarthy and Adams play Chelsea and Calvert-Lewin, Rodriguez and Luka Dean play Liverpool, and it could be without Allen as well. We'll have to wait and see about that. But ultimately, I think considering I've not used a wild card, and this is game week 4 now, and I've taken 2 hits, to have that team, I'm pretty happy with it. Like next week, I could still do the shorter Reece James move, and maybe bench Adams or Luka Dean, whoever it might be. But yeah, I think that team looks solid. Whether or not I'll still be thinking that next week when Werner scored a hat-trick, Jimenez is blanked and Foden hasn't started, I don't know. But I think the team looks pretty good on paper. And captaincy still on Salah. I might switch to De Bruyne. I'm much less kind of nailed in on my Salah captaincy choice this week as I was last week, but I still think I'm probably going to go with it. Basically, my triple captain, I've seen a few people asking about triple captain now. I personally would not use triple captain just yet. Wait and see what the double game weeks are like first. If you've really got a gut feeling that now is the time to use it, go for it. But only you can make that call. If you ask me, I'm always going to say wait for double game weeks. Do I think it's not risky taking a -4 before an international break? Yeah, potentially, right? But there's still points to be had this week. So will Jimenez and Foden for a -4 hit outscore what would have been Shaw and Werner? It could be quite close. Maybe Man United will get a clean sheet and maybe Werner will score. And I already know the chance of Jimenez getting 2 goals or more is unlikely. So yeah, potentially I could have saved. And having 2 free chances is pretty decent. But I don't know. Like, all this COVID stuff, I get it. But the Premier League players are being tested so often that even if someone got it in an international game, they would all be tested. Like, they wouldn't have to necessarily, as far as I know, and someone in the chat can let me know if I got it wrong, they wouldn't just have to isolate 14 days and start missing games. They'd be tested again. If they were negative, boom, they just play. So I don't think COVID is necessarily a huge issue for the international games. And yeah, okay, there could be some injuries, right? But I guess I'm hoping that my 15 players don't get injured. They're not all going to play in the international break. Some of them, by the way, some of the teams in the international break are playing 3 times, I think, which is crazy. But yeah, I could have some injuries. If I have to take some hits, I will. The thing is, if I kept Werner, he goes down in price, and so does St. Maximin. Then I'm not able to do this move. And also, I still maybe want to take the hit next week instead, so I've just done it early. But you're right, if you're really happy with your team, you've got no chances to make. Having 2 free chances in the international break could be decent, but yeah, fingers crossed, I guess. Same as making an early transfer, right? You just cross your fingers. Cross your fingers that Salah doesn't get injured tonight. Ni hao. Jimenez and Ings in for Martial and Werner for -4. We'll have Southampton attack double up and then Adams to Calvert-Lewin the next week. Jimenez and Ings for Martial and Werner -4. I don't know if I like that as much, but Jimenez and Ings do have fantastic fixtures this week. So if you're absolutely sure about them for the long term, then yeah, you could go for it. But Martial and Werner, there's no guarantee that they won't score this week, right? The only reason I really did it is to get Foden in for St. Maximin. I wouldn't be that concerned about having Werner this week. I don't know. Will Pulisic be back? Apparently, Pulisic has said that he's fit to play. That's what he said on our live stream, apparently, when he was streaming Fortnite. So that's how you get your injury news now. You have to watch Fortnite streams. So I saw that. Or I saw that on Twitter. So I don't know if it's actually true, but it could be. But yeah, the Ings and Jimenez for Martial and Werner. It's one of those moves that could work out, but it absolutely might not as well. Like, we're basing Martial off a couple of games. You know what he's like. He can just come back and get a couple of goals. And Werner's going to score at some point, whether it's this week or next week, who knows. But yeah, Ings and Jimenez is very popular. And you save money, right? It gives you a lot of money to upgrade. And Adams to Calvert-Lewin, that's a pretty nice transfer the next week. So if you definitely need the funds to do the Adams to Calvert-Lewin, maybe it's a good time to do it this week. PF Racing Media. Mitrovic, Bamford or Adams for a cheap third forward. Most people will go Bamford now. I still don't like the fixtures. I still don't think he can carry this on. Adams, the problem with Adams is you like him this week and then you probably want to look to get rid of him. So I'd maybe be tempted just to keep Mitrovic for a bit longer. Or if you can get like an extra 0.5 million, got to like a more pay or 0.3 million and get Antonio. Sahid Co, I think that is. Enjoying the content, keep it up. Thanks very, very much. Really appreciate that. Who do I bench from Reece James, Sice and Kyle Walker-Peters? Ooh, that is tough. That is tough. I mean, I definitely wouldn't bench Reece James. It's between Sice and Kyle Walker-Peters. I don't know. Both got attacking threat. That's a really tough one. Kyle Walker-Peters against West Brom. I'd probably play Kyle Walker-Peters and bench Sice, but I wouldn't necessarily be massively happy about it. But I know a lot of people have got strong defences this week, so sometimes you gotta bench some good players. You don't like Bamford, but you like Adams. I mean, I like Adams for this week, but yeah, I don't like Bamford. Simple as that. I mean, I don't really have the money to get rid of Adams now for next week, which is why I was slightly. What I would have done if I knew Podence was fit and ready to play, I probably would have kept Werner and just done St. Maximin to Podence, which everyone did last week, and then I would have had enough money once I did the Werner Jimenez move to upgrade Adams. So it's a little bit of a worry, but in the back of my mind, Antonio's come down to 6.3 million now, which is just ridiculous. So at some point, maybe I can do Luke Shaw to a 4.5 million defender, or Luca Dean to a 5 million, 5.5, whatever it might be. Maybe even to like Chilwell or something, and upgrade Adams to Antonio. So that's in the back of my mind. Yeah, Adams is a transfer waiting to happen, but I mean, I've got him. Like, he's cheap. He's not the biggest issue in my squad, right? And he's got West Brom at home this week, so I feel like that's okay. Chelsea and Everton next two are not ideal. Then it's Villa, Newcastle, not bad. Then it's Wolves, Man United. But around game week 8, that's when I'd really want to be getting rid of him for sure. I might get rid of him before that, but for now, yeah, you want Ings. Yeah, but do you know what? I also want Harry Kane, but it's 4 or 5 million extra. Do you know what I mean? If I wanted Ings, I would have got him instead of Jimenez, you know? Bamford has 3 goals, 3 assists in 3 games. He does indeed. And if you think he's going to keep that up, you should absolutely get him in, because he'll be the bargain of the season. It's 2 assists, by the way. 2 assists. But yeah, 5 returns in 3 games is decent. Like I say, if anyone thinks Bamford's going to keep that up, 5 returns in 3 games, or even less than that, go for him. Absolutely go for him. You think he's going to score against Man City and then Wolves and then Leicester in the next 4? Get him in. For me, the Ings and Jimenez decision wasn't that tough. I just went with a guy with the better fixtures. Like, Ings has to play Chelsea and Everton after this. Again, everyone will say he can score against his teams. Absolutely, he can. But Wolves' fixtures are better. So that's why I went for Jimenez. Basically, I could have had either. Do you think James is a definite start with Chilwell and Azpilicueta starting in the Cup? Yeah, pretty much. I wouldn't be worried about it this week. Yeah, at some point, maybe longer term, Azpilicueta will come in for him, but it's not looking likely so far. So we can only go off what we know. Dominic Calvert-Lewandowski scoring 5 in the weekend. Yeah, absolutely. Suppose you haven't gone for the Robertson-Trent double up. Yeah, again, maybe I will at some point, but I didn't start off with it. I don't really have an easy route to it either. I mean, I could have just not got Foden and just done Werner to Jimenez and upgraded Luca Dean, but he plays Brighton this week, so I'm happy with it. I feel like I don't need Robertson for the next 2 now. So Robertson's playing Everton the week after. They could get a clean sheet, of course, but yeah, at some point I might look to get Robertson. And there's a lot of players I'm going to want in attack going forward. Like, I'm going to want Adams to Antonio. I'm going to want to get Pulisic in there at some point whenever he is back fit. So it's still hard to fit all them in and have a good defence. Like, I'd love Sterling too, but I mean, where'd you fit him in? I haven't seen any rumours that Sice won't start. Only like speculation, and to be fair, he hasn't played well, but I don't know if he's going to lose his place this early. Archie, thanks very much. Calvert-Lewin, Ings, Jimenez, Vardy, Kane need 2 for the wild card. I mean, I feel like Calvert-Lewin's got to be in there. The thing is, it's hard to pick just 2 because they're so different in price. I could just say Kane and Vardy, but then that affects your decisions elsewhere. So I guess Calvert-Lewin and Jimenez to let you spread some money elsewhere. But I mean, I would say that. I've got them, haven't I? I don't know. Vardy's a great pick, but it depends. The thing with going for Vardy and Kane for their great fixtures coming up is it's going to dent your midfield, right? So it depends who you want to buy there. Is Leeds versus City considered a derby match? I don't think so. Essential players in a wild card this week. Not really thought about wildcards too much. Someone asked me just a minute ago if I'd do a video on it tomorrow. Maybe. We shall see. I didn't do an extra video today. Quite honestly, I just couldn't be bothered. I just thought I've done videos like every day for the last few months, or last month or so. I couldn't be bothered today. And I knew I was doing the stream anyway tonight. De Bruyne triple captain versus Leeds. Same thing with triple captain. I wouldn't triple captain this week. If you want to do it, go for it. I mean, if you think De Bruyne is a great captain, he's going to get like a triple attack and return haul, then sure, go for it. What would your ideal front three be? Each under 10 million. Probably Ings, Jimenez, Calvert-Lewin. Antonio, though, when the fixtures turn in Game Week 8, would definitely be in there. I think I've said this already. Like, Antonio might even be my captain in Game Week 8. By then, though, he could be injured. You know what he's like. Never trust Spurs assets. Yeah, but Lord more. By the way, I should say, if you want to check out Patreon, there is a link in the description below. One of the things I've added, because I know loads of people have been asking me about converting these videos into podcasts, right? And I'm, like I said in the last stream, still not completely happy about doing it like publicly, because then people pick up those podcasts. It's just me rambling on a stream. It doesn't look good. So at some point, if I release a public podcast, I want it to be a proper podcast. But I'm going to do on the lowest tier on Patreon, I'm going to convert all my public videos to podcasts, and they'll be up as soon as they're ready. So most of the time, they'll be up before the actual video goes live on YouTube. So if you want to check that out, there's a link in the description below, and I'll do the shout-outs a little bit later as well. You transferred out Son and Wilson for Maddison and Ings. Thoughts on Maddison? I'd prefer Barnes, personally. As long as if they get similar minutes, I think Harvey Barnes is a better option. Maddison can be so frustrating. Like he went on a great run last year and then an awful run. So yeah, I don't know if it's I don't know. I wouldn't say Maddison's a bad pick. I just prefer Barnes. How much is your team worth? It is worth 100.7 million with 0.1 in the bank. This year seems like nobody is trying to have a good bench. I think my bench is fine. I mean, I've probably got more money on my bench than I ever have because of Luke Shaw. Why do I prefer 3-4-3 over 3-5-2? I don't necessarily. It's just the players I've got. I mean, you could swap Jimenez to Pulisic at some point. You could swap, I don't know, Adams to Podence and it would be 3-5-2. You could swap Calvert-Lewin to Barnes. It's 3-5-2. It's only one player difference. I think it's probably... Do you know what I mean? I don't necessarily. It's just I set up in a 3-4-3. One of the reasons I set up in a 3-4-3 is because the cheaper forwards look like better value than the cheaper mids. Especially around 6 to 6.5. But now we've got Foden, who might be an option. We've got Podence, who might be an option. Harvey Barnes at 7 million looks good. You got Rodriguez at 7.5 or 7.6, whatever he is now. He looks good. So things have changed a little bit. Antonio could still get another price right. They should just, honestly, they should just hold his price. Getting Antonio for 6.2 million would be insane value. How'd you get your team to be worth more? You just got to get players in that are rising in price, you know? That's not sell value. It's not, no, but I can't bother to go and look what the sell value is. I don't want to click the X's on all 15 players. Feels like they messed up the Antonio starting price. I don't know if they did. The thing that was weird for me with the Antonio prices, they dropped Antonio's price by 0.5 million because he turned into a forward from midfielder. Yeah, they didn't do the same with Richarlison. They kept him at 8 million. That was the weird thing for me. They could have probably kept him at 7 million, Antonio. Like, that's how good he is. But not gonna sniff at 6.5. It's not 107, it's 100.7. It's not 107 million, it's 100.7 million. That's the squad value. Rashford to Maddison to enable Sice to Robbo TA. More likely for Game Week 5 with 2 free transfers. Could do Rashford to Maddison this week. There's no way I'd be doing Rashford to Maddison this week. I don't think. I think you just play him against Spurs. Man United are pretty good again. The way they set out, they'd be quite... Especially if Spurs come out to play, I think they'd be quite good. I definitely wouldn't do to Maddison. Not this week. That's just me, though. You got Jesus and Son. Who should you sub out? I mean, Jesus is going to be out longer, but it depends who you want to bring in. Like, if you want to bring in a midfielder, you'd have to get rid of Son. But I'd probably get rid of Jesus before Son because we don't know when Jesus is going to be back. Mourinho's kind of said Son could be back this week, but it would be tough for it to happen. But it definitely should. Not going to say definite, but it sounds like he should be back for Game Week 5. Whereas Jesus, we don't know. Plus, when Aguero's back, he's not an option, etc. So Jesus would be the one for me. Yeah, no, 107 million would be incredible already, but yeah, pretty much impossible. Even if you made like loads and loads of transfers, it'd still be extremely difficult. You just took a hit and did Mitrovic to Jimenez. You already regret it. I mean, longer term, Jimenez should be better. We'll see though. I mean, Wolves 4-0 against West Ham, not good, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they keep turning up. It's hard to know, like. It's very difficult to know when, because obviously for the first few weeks you're really looking at okay, what happens in a couple of games, but do you really trust what's happening in just 2 or 3 games? Like, is Bamford now a world-class striker? Is Calvert-Lewin now a world-class striker? Obviously, you've got to take into account, like, Everton have made new signings, etc. But most of the time, you're going off last season. But then when do you stop worrying about last season? Like Villa, for example, I've looked into Villa a little bit more now. And I don't know, I'm a little bit worried about Salah captaincy. I still think, well, it's Liverpool, they're very good, and so is Salah. He's on penalties, so it's probably not an issue. But it's probably not as easy as it once was. And they've done that for a while now. They've looked pretty good for a while. Of course, they've not come up against Liverpool this season, so it could be a bit different. But yeah, it's just when do you start taking into this season instead of looking back to last season? It's 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I mean, after this game week in the international break, I suppose we can look back a bit, but it's still very hard to know exactly how teams are going to perform for the next 4. Like Man City, not great against Leicester. I mean, Leicester were very good, to be fair. Is that going to get going? How long till Man United get going? Like, Man United are not going to be as bad as they've been the last 2 weeks, but how many more weeks is that going to take? Just no idea. That is the beauty of FPL, right? You make decisions like getting Calvert-Lewin in, great. You make other decisions, bad. You just got to try and hope you make more good decisions. And to be honest, I don't even know what point I'm trying to make now, so I'm just shut up. Greg, thanks very much. Son and Mitrovic to Pereira and Jimenez for a -4 hit. Yeah, if there's no one else you like for free for Son, then yeah, maybe. I don't think Mitrovic is like a must-sell this week or anything, but obviously Jimenez is a good option going forward. And if you feel like you've got to get rid of Son anyway, then yeah, go for it. Hang on, Villa losing, yeah, but what was their team like? Let me have a quick look at it. They're losing 1-0 to Stoke. Yeah, that's pretty much that's almost a completely changed team, isn't it? It's not. Yeah, if it was their full team, I'd maybe be a bit happier. See you later, Fozzie. Thanks for joining as always. Any news about Marçal or Vinagre? Nope. Wait till tomorrow. I'll be doing the team news stream on Fantasy Football Scout. Wait and see what Nuno Espirito Santos says. Is it Espiritos? Espirito, I think, right? Who are the best? 4.5 midfielders and strikers. I mean, there's no good 4.5 million strikers. There's not really any good 4.5 million midfielders. You got Burke at Sheffield United. Well, I don't know. Is he going to keep starting? Maybe. Bissouma and Guisa, they could all be okay. They're not great, though. And 4 million defenders, it's Mitchell or bust, really. Johnson might play for a bit for West Ham, but long term, none of them are any good. Nihal, would I recommend a wildcard right after the break? If your team needs if you really feel like your team needs a wildcard, then yeah, you'd pop it straight away as soon as the game is finished to jump on the price rises. Do not wildcard for price increases. It just doesn't happen that often over the international break. It just doesn't happen that often, so I wouldn't bother. Yeah, hit that like button if you haven't already. Much appreciated. Subscribe if you're new around here as well. Just because, why not? Why not? Did Andy use a hit? I did take a hit. Maybe I should think of a way. Maybe I should put like a little box above my head with the transfers I've made. I don't usually do them this early, I guess, but that could help. Brentford 3-0 against Fulham. Brentford are quite good though, aren't they? I mean, when it comes to Championship teams, they're decent. Burke has to be the best choice. He will keep playing. He's a forward through and through. Yeah, I know, but like at the end of the day, it doesn't seem to be that like Sheffield United in general not that good going forward. So you'd think if he doesn't score, maybe they'll rotate it. They've got so many forwards that it could happen, right? Will Sice play this weekend? You have him in your wild card. Hopefully. No one can say yes, definitely, but hopefully. Double up on Trent and Robertson. Why not? They're going to be attacking. They're going to get clean sheets. What more could you want? I don't think Salah will be rested against Villa, no. I mean, could he play and come off around 78 minutes? Potentially. But it's still early on in the season, right? So I'm not that worried. A little bit worried about Villa defence, though, I will be honest. If I had Sterling, I think I would be tempted to switch from Salah to Sterling, but I don't know. I paid all this money for De Bruyne. I'm still like, do I really want to captain the guy that was the highest scorer last year? I mean, what a stupid way to look at it. I probably should. I should be on Strictly Come Down tonight. Absolutely should not. Yeah, it would of course be nice for Salah to go off early. But we're going to have to wait and see. Like, obviously, for anyone that's watching not live, it's currently 26 minutes past 8. And they're only 26 minutes in. I think it kicked off at 8. So it's obviously hard to know. I'm going to finish this stream before the game's going to finish. So we're not going to know when he comes off and stuff. I look fresh today. Thanks. I mean, I did have a shave and a haircut on the Monday. That was a good idea because I was looking pretty messy. So the deadlifts, I'm back into the gym properly now. Although I should sit up properly because my lower back is killing, which is probably not good. How's it been going to the gym during the pandemic? It's been fine, to be honest. Like, people, literally, right? Obviously, everyone's got like their own towels or whatever, but people in my gym, there's like a shelving unit when you walk in. It's got like kettlebells. There's loads of other stuff in there. I can't think. There's like foam rollers, all that kind of thing. And then there's a section for clean cloths. There's a box for dirty cloths. And then there's like 10 or 15 bottles of disinfectant. And everybody, when they walk in, they get a bottle of disinfectant on a cloth. And as they finish on stuff, they clean it. And then when they finish in the gym, they just dump the dirty cloth in the box. So it's actually good, to be honest. Get some lumbar support for the back. Yeah, honestly, it's not really the chair because I do move quite a bit. It's just the deadlifts this morning. I went from doing I did 78. No, I think I did 70, 90, 100, 3x5 last week, and this week I did 4x6, 100, 100, 100, 100. So I kind of pushed it a little bit. His team is over 102 million. You can draft the same team and see for yourself. It's not. It's literally not over 102 million. Stop spamming that rubbish. Is Ings a genuine contender for captaincy? I think because of the fixture he is. But the thing is for me, I'm trying to stick to the big boys, the ones that you think can genuinely get a big score. So you're looking at Salah, De Bruyne, Sterling, players like that. The problem for me with Ings is he only once scored more than one... not only once, but he very rarely scored more than one goal last year. The great thing is he is great for bonus when he does score. So if he got two returns, you're straight up to 13 points, which is decent. But how often does he score that second goal? The fact he's on penalties does help him a bit. But I'd always be drawn to De Bruyne, Sterling, Salah, Mane, someone like that. You just know they got a bigger score in them. Especially with the midfielders, they got the clean sheet, the extra point for the goals, etc., etc. We've heard it all before, which is why I wouldn't go for him. But Jimenez and Ings, they got great fixtures this week. It's just how often are they going to convert that into big points? Just not enough for me to warrant putting a captain on them. You don't always need a big haul for your captain to be good. If they get 9-10 points, that's decent, right? If you get 9 or 10 points from your captain every week, you'd probably be quite happy, I think. Would you be quite happy? 9 or 10 points every week, doubled into 20, times 38. Yeah, you'd be happy with that. That's over 700 captaincy points. I feel like that's a lot, although I'd have to go and do some research to see it is. So yeah, will Ings score this week? Probably. But is he going to score 2 or 3? Is he going to get a hat-trick? He could do. I'd much prefer if it was Adams. Greg, how's it going? Martinez, James, Justin. I love Justin. I wish I had him. Sice, March, Solly March, nice. Salah, De Bruyne, Sterling, Pedence. Oh, Salah, De Bruyne and Sterling. I like it. Pedence, Calvert-Lewin, Vardy. Wow. Bamford, Mitchell and Ward-Prowse on the bench. Hang on a second. Okay, so first of all, and this is always a compliment, it feels like you've got no Trent or Robertson. I was going to say, it feels like you shouldn't be able to afford that. Too many big players. I think if you want those big players, why not go for them, right? I wouldn't have, for me, it's just personal preference, I wouldn't have Bamford on the bench. I feel like you could just spend that money elsewhere. I always like my bench to be as cheap as possible. So if you're going to go 3-5-2, I would just get a 4.5 million forward. But no, I think if you want the big players, go for them. And the great thing about having the big players, if you ever need to go elsewhere, you can just downgrade them quite easily, right? So, yeah, not massively against that, to be honest. Joe, how's it going? Please say hello to Steve Middlemiss, who has started watching your streams. He's already wasted his wildcard. Lots of people have. Any advice for him? You don't use your wildcard so early if you don't need to. All I would say is, I was going to do a video on this earlier, is stay patient. There's only been 3 weeks. There's still 35 weeks to go, right? There's nothing to say that all of us that are holding our wild card will not also waste it and make mistakes as well. So do not panic. That would be my main advice. Plenty of time to rectify stuff. Just because everyone had a bad week last week. It wasn't necessarily because you wildcarded, right? That wildcard team probably looks quite good this week. We have the same team. Great. Hopefully your team does really well then. So good luck, Steve. It sounds like you need it. Justin's not going to lose his place to Evans. Justin's going to lose his place to Ricardo potentially, and we could put Castagna back on the left. Which streams apart from your own do you watch? I got to be honest, I watch very little other stuff because I'm just doing FPL all day, every day, and I just switch off from it. I sometimes watch Elite FPL if it pops up in my screen, in my inbox. There's loads of good stuff, but I try and just watch 1 or 2 a week, if that. Just because it's just so, I just do it all the time, so I need to get a break from it. Same as podcasts. I find it really difficult to listen to podcasts because I don't commute anywhere. And if I'm doing stuff like working or on the computer, I feel like I want to be listening to it, not just having it on in the background, because then I don't actually take it in, like if I was listening to music or whatever. So I find it really difficult to listen to podcasts or find the time to put them on. And again, sometimes I just want to switch off from FPL. So I've been listening to some fitness podcasts this week instead when I've been walking. Rohan, how's it going? Captain Sterling, Jimenez or Calvert-Lewin? It's got to be Sterling, hasn't it? Surely Sterling out of those. Like I've just said, Jimenez not going to be probably not explosive enough. Calvert-Lewin, he scored 2 hat-tricks, so I probably shouldn't say that, but I just feel like Sterling's got a bigger score in him most weeks. But I mean Calvert-Lewin, maybe he should be in the conversation, but for me, I wouldn't say he's been lucky. I don't think he's been lucky to score. But I think it'd probably been just as fair to have 3 goals from the first 3 weeks other than 5. He's not going to keep up 5 and 3. Right? We all know that. It doesn't mean... I keep seeing tweets, by the way. Let's talk about Calvert-Lewin for a sec. They say stuff like, he's not going to score 25, 30 goals because he's already scored 5. But the fact he scored 5 makes no difference. He's still a good option for the next 35 weeks, potentially. Not that you have to pick a player for 35 weeks. But he doesn't have to hit 30 goals to be a good FPL option, or even 25. If he hit 20 goals for the season, he's going to score another 15 over 35 weeks. It's not that bad if you put some assists in there as well. So I think you got to be careful with, maybe I'll get it wrong on Bamford. Maybe he'll be the greatest player ever. But for me, Bamford's got a lot of returns in the first 3. I don't necessarily see that keeping up. But again, he is cheap, so maybe it doesn't matter. Whereas for Calvert-Lewin, yes, he's not going to score 5 and 3, but given the manager, given the formation they're playing now, he's the number 9. There's no 4-4-2, although it does kind of go into 2. They do kind of play 2 strikers still at times with Richarlison pushing forward, and the new midfield. He probably can keep up a good goal scoring record. So I wouldn't be, for anyone that's thinking I'm not going for Calvert-Lewin, he can't keep this up. You're right, he can't keep up 5 and 3. That doesn't make him a bad option, you know. That's what I would say. Need a Werner replacement for under 7 million. Who would you recommend? You could go for more pay, maybe. I don't know if he's great this week. Under 7 million. Antonio, but the problem is if you go for Antonio now, you've got to hold him through some pretty bad fixtures. He could do okay, but really want him from game week 8 onwards. So maybe more pay. Under 7 million. I've almost got to remind myself who the hell is under 7 million. Give me a sec. Let me have a look. Where am I looking? Did I not turn the music down? I thought I did. Zaha or Barnes? Yeah, but I'm guessing you mean strikers, right? Barnes would be great, by the way. But I'm guessing you want to move down to another forward. So yeah, you could go. Chris Wood could be okay as well. Not very exciting pick, but he could be decent. Chris Wood or Morpay would probably be my 2 favourites. I love people that say, please respond, you never respond. I mean, literally, that's all I do all stream is respond to people. I mean, there is, how many people watching now? 1,500, no, 1,500. So, yeah, it's tricky to answer absolutely everyone. Feel free, by the way, if you haven't already, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. Let me do the quick shout out for the patrons. If anyone wants to get involved, there's a link in the description below, patreon.com/letstalkfpl. These are all the kind of stuff you get. So obviously Stream Hall of Fame, which we'll do in a sec. Team reveals went out earlier today. Podcast, or all the videos converted to podcasts anyway. Slack, monthly giveaways, extra videos, Q&A video coming out tomorrow, and WhatsApp as well. So depending on which tier you go for. So thanks to everyone that signed up on Patreon so far. This is everybody that's already a Patreon Let's Talk FPL member. A big shout out to Andre V, Luke B, Karan A, and Ruben B, who have all signed up since the last video. So much appreciated to everybody that is signed up on that at the moment. Son to anyone 10.5 or less. I mean, it depends what you can do with the money, but I generally feel like someone like Harvey Barnes could be decent. And you save yourself like 3.5 million. Job done. Right? I mean, tell me, you could go for a Man United midfielder, but I don't know if they're providing great value right now, personally. So that's my only worry. Charlie Taylor versus Newcastle, or Mitrovic versus... Well, I'd probably just play... The problem with Charlie Taylor, I think he's already got an assist, hasn't he? But it just never strikes me as that attacking. So I'd maybe rather go for the attacker in that scenario. I just don't know if there's enough upside to playing Taylor. Granted, I would hope the Wolves get a clean sheet, of course. That's why I'm playing Sice. But yeah, I think I just hope for the best with Mitrovic and play him instead. Is Mane or Salah a better option? I mean, Mane has looked great the last 2 games, but it's still the same, well, very similar price. I'm still preferring Salah with the penalties, to be honest. I mean, it's a bit too... I mean, Salah, to be fair, is not... XG-wise, non-penalty has not been great so far, but... We know what he can do. You can switch it on whenever he wants. Naf, any thoughts on James or Castagna for defence? It's a good question, actually. I think Leicester defence is probably a little bit more solid than Chelsea right now. And to be fair, he's also very attacking. So arguably, Castagna should be better. But I do like Reece James. He's so attacking. If they can sort out their defensive issues, he'd be great. But I think if you want to go for a steadier defender who's also... pretty attacking, and Castagna's good. If you want to go a bit shorter term, though, you could just go for Justin for less money. That's another thing to consider. But at some point, Justin's probably going to lose his pace, and Castagna won't, but we don't know that for sure either. Someone asked me, why don't I do captaincy? I'm not sure what you mean. Turn the music back up. Can you not hear it at all? I mean, it's on now. Is it not pretty annoying listening to the same music all the time? I mean, I guess, to be fair, at this point, people know what it is. Can I pick Podence over Foden? You can do whatever you like. Have Sterling in my team, considering a swap to Mane, 1 more week or hold. That is great. Whoa, where's the team gone? Jesus. I feel like that's crazy talk. Taking out Sterling before Leeds away to get Mane in. I mean, Mane's a good player, a good option, but it's got to be Sterling for me. Next 3 or 4 look pretty damn good. I mean, they're pretty good for Liverpool as well, don't get me wrong, but no way would I be doing Sterling to Mane this week. You'll give me FIFA free. Sure, pop me a code. I'm hoping to get it from someone I used to work with, so we'll see. It would be nice to get FIFA, though. The team's gone, but it's back. It's back. Oh, this music's a bit... It's a bit... Well, I need someone who's got a great band that can do me some music for free. Copyright-free music. Who won't then claim it all down the line. Should I be wildcarding to negate a 12-point hit and then changing out your sub-keeper for minus 16? I mean, if it's just a sub-keeper, why do you need to spend a hit on them? You hate background music, your voice suffices. Yeah, to be honest, like, it's one of these things early on in streaming, I decided to just play music because sometimes I play music, sometimes I didn't, and every week some people like the music, some people don't. Simple as that. Look at the Spurs score, going mental. Let me have a quick look. Hang on. I can't find the top. 4-1. Giovanni Lo Celso latching on to Harry Kane's pass. Harry Kane, he's a legend now. He's just a creative genius. Oh, Lo Celso scored twice, I think. 4-1. Decent. The Spurs team is attacking. Yeah, I do watch FPL Black Box. Yeah. Or I try and catch most of it. I won't watch it live probably though. Might catch a bit tomorrow. If Joe Biden was an FPL, he'd be a 4 million midfielder. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get onto American politics. Yeah, I'm definitely looking at Adams to Antonio. Like, people were talking about Adams earlier. Like, yeah, he's not the greatest option, but he's only 5.9 million, right? I don't have a lot of money to upgrade him. I could go up to a 6 million, so if someone like Ollie Watkins was suddenly looking good, or whoever it might be, I do have a couple of options, but I'm probably just going to keep him, to be honest, for now. He's not really a priority to get rid of for me. At some point, I might do Shaw out for a 4.5 and upgrade Adams to Antonio. That could be done, but I'm not sure when I'm going to want to do that. The problem I have with Antonio, like buying him, if you've got him, fair enough, but buying him, Leicester, Spurs, Man City and Liverpool, that you can't get much worse than West Ham's fixtures right now. Now, could he score against some of those teams? Absolutely. But if he happens to get injured in those four before the great run of fixtures, that would be such a killer. So definitely not looking at Antonio just yet, but he is someone I want in the future. Ben, thanks very much. Barnes, Maddison or Mahrez for the long term. Probably Barnes for long term, but Mahrez could be decent in the more medium term. Werner playing on the wing now. I don't think Werner playing on the wing makes him a bad option, by the way. I mean, in terms of how you set up on paper, Salah and Mane start on the wings, right? And they are on the wings as well, right? So I don't think Werner playing on the left off a forward is bad. It just hasn't clicked for him in Chelsea yet. I mean, again, they have scored 6 goals in two of their games, so it's not like they're not scoring goals. He's just not on the end of them. But at the same time, I've also got rid of him. Sava, thanks very much. Barnes from Burnley back, a good option. Let's see if he keeps starting. Let's see if he gets back into the first 11 first of all. I'm not saying he won't, but he's been out for a long time. I wouldn't be looking at him personally. How much is he now? Is he 6 or 6.5? So yeah, he's 6. Maybe if he got back into the team, but I think Chris Wood's the one you really want from there. Like 6 million. I mean, I could still do Che Adams to Bamford if Bamford's still smashing it. Although he might go up in price too much soon. Callum Robinson at West Brom, not interested. Mitrovic, maybe. I mean, next time he's playing Sheffield United away, Crystal Palace at home, West Brom at home, West Ham away, Everton at home. Maybe I could take a punt on Mitrovic at some point instead of Adams, but I got a feeling I'll probably just keep Adams. And outside of that, there's not really anyone else I'd want. Watkins, but then he's got Liverpool, Leicester next, Leeds at home in Game Week 6 could be good. But I think if I end up Adams has got West Brom's fine. Then it's Chelsea away, Everton at home, not great. But then it's Villa away and Newcastle at home. I expect I'm just going to keep Adams because if I sell him in like Game Week 5, 6 or 7, then I'm going to want to go to Antonio anyway, probably. But things can change so quickly. There's just no point worrying about it, I don't think. Not yet. But Werner is a 9.4 forward playing on the wing. It doesn't matter though, does it? As long as he's scoring, I get it, he's not scoring points, so right now it doesn't look worth it. But if he's still scoring goals from wide, why does it matter that he plays wide? You know? Salah looks bad today. Yeah, that's not what I want to be hearing. Does wildcard cancels that hits, absolutely. No one talking about my future transfer budget defender, Jimmy Dunn. I mean, Jimmy Dunn's about to lose his place though, isn't he? Because Tarkowski's back. You love your fluffy bit. It's gone. It's gone. Thank God. Ben Davis with 2 assists. Reguilon, get out of the team. You're not needed. Ben Davis is there. Doom, doom. Doom, doom. I feel like Pereira is a differential nobody's talking about. Yeah, I'm just not interested. I know he scored an absolutely worldie of a free kick and he got an assist, but it was just a sideways pass. Defender, the forward did everything from there. I don't know. I just can't get excited about West Brom and Pereira. I mean, he's done well, though. Don't get me wrong. But again, is he going to keep that up? I mean, he is the main man there. But I don't know. I feel like he's going to have to do a lot. Why is everyone using these weird, annoying emojis with the triangle and the exclamation mark? I just see them and think I just want to ignore that question. Is home advantage even a thing anymore with no fans? Maybe not, but the problem I think is we don't really have enough data to go on, do we? There's not. I mean, realistically, there's not been that many games without a crowd. I mean, it's going to be by the end of this season the way things are going. And then maybe we'll know, but by then it might be too late. I've taken a -4 hit this week and in Game Week 2, and I took no hits last week. If you wildcard, what team would you use? I'm not going to put together a wildcard team right now. I don't think it'd be too far off my actual team, though, to be honest. I probably wouldn't have Luka Dean in a wildcard team, so I probably want to spend a little bit less money in defence. And maybe I wouldn't have James Rodriguez just because I would fancy going somewhere different. But I don't think I would go too different to this. Like, obviously, Che Adams wouldn't be in there. But it's the same as last week. If I wildcarded this week, I'd get rid of McCarthy and Adams with West Brom at home. I'd get rid of Luka Dean with Brighton at home. It's just not worth doing it for me. Foden or Harvey Barnes for Son. All I will say is if I had extra 0.3 million or whatever, 0.3 million, I would have probably gone for Barnes instead of Foden. So I think the thing about Barnes is he's probably going to keep starting, whereas Foden you don't. I'm a little bit worried about Foden. He should start the next two, but there's no guarantees. That Ferran Torres, whatever his, I don't know what his first name. I think that's his first name, but Torres did pretty well yesterday. So who knows? Maybe he'll get a shot in the Premier League more often soon. We just don't know. What's the plan with Shaw? Just to leave him and maybe downgrade him to a 4.5 at some point. He does have okay fixtures coming up. So if I need to play him, I can. But otherwise, I'll just keep him on the bench. Like, it's Newcastle away after Spurs. Then it's Chelsea, Arsenal. So it's not great. I got to be honest. Shaw wasn't a good pick at all. Now, to be fair, I was kind of hoping for clean sheets from Crystal Palace and Brighton. And then Newcastle in Game Week 5. It hasn't happened, so now it looks like an awful pick, and it probably was. So he'll probably go for a 4.5 at some point. I just hope that I don't. I just hope that I don't lose too much money on him. In fact, hang on. Is he even dropping in price? I can't imagine many people owned him. Nah, it looks like he's only minus 50%, so hopefully we're good for a little bit longer. Be annoying if he drops to 4.9. You asked me 100 times a question. I got two things: emojis and telling me I haven't answered your question already. Do not make me want to answer your question. I'll tell you that now. Do I think Mahrez will start in the next 3 to 4 games? He will start at some point. Yeah. Do I think he's going to start all of them? Probably not. I mean, I wouldn't say anyone from Man City is guaranteed to start the next 3 or 4, apart from Edison. Yeah, Lamptey could be an option. Yeah. Could be worse. Could have picked Wan-Bissaka. Absolutely, yeah. There's no way I was spending 5.5 on a Man United defender to start off. Because, the fixtures were okay, but they weren't brilliant. So I thought I would just get Luke Shaw instead. Didn't happen. If you want an honest opinion on Newcastle, target us. Yeah, absolutely. Teams I would still target: Fulham, West Brom, Newcastle, West Ham, until we see a bit more. Maybe not Crystal Palace now, though. Don't know. Maybe not even Aston Villa anymore. Is it okay to transfer in Bamford? It's okay to do anything you want. Do you know what I mean? Are you worried about Bernardo Silva being back? Yeah, he could take some minutes. Maybe he'll play more central. Maybe they'll go just for one DM, play Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne as central. Still play Foden, Mahrez on the wings. It's hard to know, isn't it? Do I think Vinagre will still play forwards? I think he'll play if Marçal is injured this week. If not, I think he'll be straight out of the team. Che Adams captain, no way. Just having Che Adams is enough for me. Just having him is enough. Cheers, Liam. If Calvert-Lewin was 10 million, do you think he'd be getting talked about a lot more for captaincy? He might do. There is something in the prices. Look, maybe he's a good captaincy option, but for now, I just want to see a bit more to see whether he can keep this up. Plus, it takes a lot for me to go for a forward as captain over a midfielder. They'd really have to have a really, really strong fixture compared to everyone else. Then I might consider doing it. Like in Game Week 8, for example, I don't want to keep talking about Game Week 8 because things can change so quickly by then. that this might not even be a thing. But if Man City are playing Liverpool, then straight away I wouldn't want to captain De Bruyne, Sterling, Salah, Mane. So I'm looking elsewhere. So I could go for Aubameyang against Aston Villa, or Pulisic against Sheffield United if they're fit, if they're playing. But if they're not in my team, I don't know if I'm going to make that transfer. So then I might look at Antonio. Then I might look at, Calvert-Lewin's playing Man United, so I probably couldn't go for him that week anyway. If I had Danny Ings by then, he's playing Newcastle. At that point, I might go for a midfielder or for a forward. But right now, I'm not looking at that. Yes, Black Box starts in a minute. I'll be off. Don't worry. I'll be going. I'm usually done by about 45, 50 minutes. So we're on about 50 minutes now. We're on 56 minutes since I started streaming. Should we wait a bit longer to see if Semedo is worth 5.5? Yeah, I wouldn't write off the Wolves defence like in any stretch. But yeah, I don't know if I would want to spend in 5.5 on Semedo right now. DCL is the RVP of 2011-2012. No one captained him while he banged in goals every week. Yeah, it could be the same thing. We'll have to wait and see. Best midfielder for under 6.3. Is that 6.3? Maybe. I still like Podence if he was fit, but I don't know if we're going to get that. And I think Bowen, with the fixtures, you can't really go there. A lot of people are going to like Leeds midfielders, Click or someone like that. I think Trossard at 6 million could be decent. He's maybe where I'd be looking right now. Right, I am going to leave it there. Thanks very much for tuning in today. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you've not already checked out Patreon, there's a link in the description below. Everything that's on offer, I guess, is on screen right now. So if you want to check that out, make sure you do. This will go up as a podcast, for example, straight away. Well, today or tomorrow, we'll see. And obviously, there'll be a Q&A. Why do I drink so much water? Because you've got to be... You've got to stay hydrated, you know. But yeah, there'll be a Q&A tomorrow, more focused Q&A tomorrow up on Patreon once the team news and stuff is in, once we've seen all the press conferences and stuff like that. So if you want to check it out, like I said, link in the description below. Much appreciated. Please do like the stream. Please do hit subscribe if you haven't already. And I will catch you again on Saturday for a deadline stream. And then, so Saturday, deadline stream, 10:15 a.m. in the morning. And then about 9:15 on Sunday for the knee-jerk stream, because Liverpool's up till 9:15. So my captain will have just played. So if Salah's blanked and the day before De Bruyne has gone mad, I'm not going to be happy. So tune in for that one on Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Go and enjoy Black Box if you haven't already. If you haven't already checked out FPL Black Box, just go and search for it now. They're live streaming in 7 minutes. Tell them I sent you. And most of you will know them. If you're watching me, you'll know them. But yeah, go and check out FPL Black Box if you want to watch another stream. There's not like this. It's more like a podcast style, but it is decent. Other than that, I will